Big day today in the NBA. One of the most exciting players of this generation. Really, let's just keep it real. One of the most exciting players in the NBA ever. I think the best ball handler in NBA history. I think he's a clear Hall of Famer, Rob. Where you at on that? Kyrie Irving, Hall of Famer?
He should be. They didn't put him in the top 75, and that's the danger. I think when I look at Kyrie and is the more he plays, Chris, and it's like the Dwight Howard thing. I think if you just look at Dwight Howard, just his numbers, and it wasn't
First
attached
8
to
to
anything.
10 years.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, how? But he's turned into goofy Dwight Howard and the mistakes, and I'm talking about the teams and what happened in L.A., and then he's there, he's that. People have discounted him, and I hate to think that that's going to happen with Kyrie going forward, or people are going to look at him, especially depending on how this all shakes out, and moving forward. But I'm with you. He's a great player. I love to watch him play, but he's at a crossroads on people wondering or whether or not, Chris, they can count on him. And that's a big part of it.
Dennis Rodman is in the Hall of Fame. Obviously, he had major, issues off the court. And we got to realize too, the top 75 doesn't include all the Hall of Famers.
No.
I mean?
But I agree with
Dennis.
Dennis Rodman, he won championships. Dwight Howard hasn't won anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Dennis was a great player. But
I'm just saying it's easier to discount somebody. It's hard to act like Dennis Rodman. He was on two different teams, won a number of championships. I'm just saying. That's all.
Right. But Kyrie, I think he'll get in. But I tell you what, it was interesting because Damian Lillard was on the top 75.
That's what I'm saying. That is,
how do you put him ahead of Kyrie? I just think they're very close, both of them. You know what I mean? So how do you put one in over the other?
But who's won and had some success in the postseason? The other guy hasn't. I mean, not at all. I mean, that's a.
And granted, he had it with LeBron, but still, he did hit the huge shot
and he
one of the
27
two greatest shots in NBA history. I think so. But anyway, Kyrie is back. Rob, he's making his season debut tonight at Indiana against the Pacers. Of course, for those maybe who've been under a rock for the past 6 months, Kyrie Irving not vaccinated. So because of the laws in New York, he can't play in home games. And the Nets told him just stay away, don't play in road games either. But they changed their mind, and now he's back, first game of the season. And he's rusty, Rob. He started. He's rusty. He's 0 for 2, 2 turnovers, 1 assist in about 6-7 minutes of action. But it's going to take him a little while to get, I don't care how much you've been playing, how much you've been working out. It's going to take you a while to get ready for NBA action. And but he is doing his thing. And I think, Rob, like Kerry Kittle said, I agree. I think this is their best chance to win the championship. I think that they had the second best record in the East without Kyrie, which is fine. But they weren't playing well against good teams. They were 0-7 against the top 4 seeds in each conference. They were 10-10 against teams above 500, and that was the worst record of any of the top 4 seeds in the East or West. So they got Kyrie back only for road games. We'll see, Rob. Wouldn't it be nice if he just decides in a month or two to get vaccinated? We'll
just see how it plays out. And at some point, he might have to make that decision anyway, ultimately. So I think that's going to be one of those things or maybe he's at the point now where he's so dug in and he doesn't want to disappoint all of his people who follow him or whatever. Like sometimes, Chris, you could paint yourself into a corner and then
some people
you can't get out.
A sellout. Right.
Yep. And then that would be it. Oh, I'm done with Kyrie. He a sellout. He said he was going to do this, and as soon as this came around, then he switched up. You know what I mean? Or he let them force him.
Look, he held out for how many months? 4 months or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, half the season. But it's interesting. Here's the thing, Rob, and you remember when Kyrie went on Zoom and he said he's not anti-vax, right? He said, I'm not anti-vax. I don't know if you use this term. I'm not pro-vax, but
I remember
that was basically what he said. He definitely said he's not anti-vax. And my thing is, if you're not like staunchly anti-vax, then just take it. That's it. I mean, if you've got, I don't agree with you if you're in this camp, but if you've got legitimate reasons, like strong beliefs for why you shouldn't take the vaccination, that's one thing. Again, I don't agree with it, but okay. But if you're just like, I'm not pro-vax, I'm not anti-vax, he said it. I think he is anti-vax.
So do I.
You know, like, yeah, you don't want to say it. And he might be feeling, I think his definition is, I'm fine with you taking it or anybody else taking it. So I'm not anti you taking it, but I don't want to take it. But if you're not, you know, so it'd be so much easier for the Nets if he took it. But anyway, it's good to have him back. And this is going to be a real experiment, Rob. Nick Wright, my co-host on First Things First, Rob, he said he thinks the Nets should make Kyrie the sixth man just because, you know, he's not going to be there every game. So it's a little bit easier to have him come off the bench and have that second unit. It's not a bad idea. They didn't do it. They started him tonight, and my guess is they'll continue to start him. But that wouldn't have been a bad idea or wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, especially since he's not going to be around
right.
all the time. And this way people don't have to get used. And then it's just the second unit, and you're mixing and matching. You know what I mean? So I agree with that. That could have been a good idea. I think they'll just wait to see how it plays out a little bit before they can really make a decision going forward.
Right. They're down 34-32 right now. First quarter's about to end. But similar situation, Novak Djokovic, the great tennis player, with the Australian Open, Rob.
Which I've gone to, Chris, before. I've been in Australia in January for the Australian Open. It's a great event. It was awesome.
I'm sure. Yeah, I've been to the U.S. Open, but that's it. But yeah, I'm sure that the Australian Open is great. But anyway, he's not vaccinated, and the rules in Australia are that you must get vaccinated to get in the country, right?
To enter the country, right.
Yeah. And so it's hard to piece everything together, but to hear Djokovic talk about it, he was given a medical exemption. And I believe him. So my guess is that the Australian Open told him, or his handlers or something, somehow the word got to him that he would be given a medical exemption. But the Australian Open, as big as it is, Rob, does not usurp the laws of the country. And that's what we're seeing with the Nets.
Right. You can't.
The Nets would love for Kyrie to be able to play. Right.
Exactly.
They just can't override the law. And the NBA can't either.
No. Just the same thing when Wiggins went and got his shot, Chris. Otherwise, he can't play in San Francisco.
Yep.
It's a city ordinance. It's
right.
a city ordinance. And even when you got the new mayor of New York, right,
Eric
took
Adams.
over.
Yep.
It's just, how is he going to go back on that, Chris, during a time when actually the virus is going crazy, right? COVID.
Right. There was some thought that he might, but
right.
You know, he deaded that pretty quickly.
So
and so it's just, you know, that's the situation now. Djokovic is, you know, not going to be able to play.
They pulled his visa, right? And basically they're going to deport him and say he can't, by Thursday or something tomorrow, that he can't play and he can't stay in the country. So that's I like you want the greatest player who plays tennis, one of them, Chris, to be in the big event. I mean, I get that, but you can't circumvent an entity like that is not bigger than the country. And at one time, now I don't know all the ins and outs, but at one time, they had the toughest restrictions about coming into the country. Like almost nobody was coming in.
Right.
Yeah, of any.
And their COVID rate was very low.
Was very low. Now somebody
Gascon
said it went up.
It's rising. Yeah, it's rising now. But
at one point, I know it was the lowest or one of the lowest in the world.
Yeah, it's just, look, it's just a different situation, folks. It is what it is, and you know, all laws aren't good, but in this situation, this is what we have to work with. And Rob, the numbers, unless you just believe the numbers are lies, then the numbers back up these types of laws.
Right.
I mean, people are dying from COVID. And now it's not quite as bad as far as the deaths, thank God.
But it seems it's more
people
contagious.
are still getting it. Yeah, it's contagious. And again, it does seem, I mean, look, I got family members, I've said it before, who aren't vaccinated. So I'm not, I got love for people whether they're vaccinated or not. But it does seem like the people that aren't vaccinated are spreading this thing, or they're a big part of the spread. And there's people that are vaccinated that are getting it too, Rob. We know people, you and I personally.
Yes, it's not.
And getting
it
hard, like, and having issues with it, just really bad.
Big time. And that's scary that we're still going through this 2 years later and it hasn't gone away. And it seems like the wintertime, Chris, when we're indoors more and the holidays and around people,
right,
is when it spikes. And then the summer, right, we were able to go out and do stuff with other people and it seemed like it was almost not going away, but it had dipped big time, right?
Yeah.
This is the second winter in a row where it exploded.
Well, we heard Gascon say, Rob, that they're considering moving the Super Bowl. Can you imagine that? From LA
I can't imagine
Texas?
With everything in place.
Right, because the Super Bowl is a production.
Oh, my
man.
God.
And it's very corporate,
tickets.
right? Companies have already made their plans. It's very corporate, Rob. We know this.
Big time.
That would be huge for them to change it. And I look, we'll see if LA sticks to its guns, but I would bet you Southern California makes some concessions.
So what is the NFL worried about people not being vaccinated? Is that it?
I Gascon or Rob G, if you want to get in here and you have some information, but I think that the LA or Southern California, or maybe California as a whole, they're more restrictive with the rules.
Yeah,
is that it?
So what's being written about, like in ESPN and other publications, is that they're worried about the surge in COVID cases in Southern California.
The current surge.
Yeah, which is funny because it's surging everywhere. So I don't know what makes California different than Texas or Florida or wherever. I think what it mostly comes down to, Chris, like you said, is that California and Los Angeles County specifically have some of the strictest COVID mandates and policies in the country. So they just voted today to extend the mask mandate indoors another month, which means that when the Super Bowl is here in early February, everybody in Radio Row have to wear a mask. Supposedly everybody in the stadiums have to wear a mask. And I'm sure that's not something that the NFL would want.
They want to be footloose and fancy free.
Yes.
They want to get out there in Texas and do whatever the heck they want to do.
You guys know the Super Bowl.
Isn't the stadium open so far?
But anything more than 10,000 people is supposed to be masked.
Oh, okay. Because I was just saying, I've been to the stadium. It was open. It's not closed.
But you guys know, having covered the Super Bowl for how many years now, the Super Bowl is an event. The whole week is not just about the game. It's the parties. It's everything.
And they don't want to be encumbered by
as crazy as it sounds, I mean, I don't even think about it. The Super Bowl's 5 weeks away. It's February 13th. What's today? The 5th? It's 5 weeks. I can't even believe it's that close.